It's Tuesday. Meatballs. Namaste. God bless. Wait. Namaste. God bless. How are all of you? I'm getting ahead of myself. The big pain in the ass is back. I feel like I just left here, man, from last night's show. But I had this show all set up, ready to go. And I hope this gives you guys some excitement about your future, man. Because it all boils down to a certain trait that we all carry every day. And if we change that, life will change. So I got these words from, it's funny because the quote I wrote, actually, I wrote that and then I found this quote here from Zig Ziglar. And I didn't find it, it found me, actually. That's how the universe works. So if you think in that kind of way, that things you don't find nothing, man. It comes to you. And life is awesome. But he wrote many, many moons ago, rest in peace, my friend, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. Isn't that great? I'll say it again. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. That's a lot of verbiage, man. But he goes on to say, from that, to kind of give people a boost. And it's really important. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You have to start at some point, man. And what I figured out many, many moons ago was who I was as a person was creating the outside world. And out of the quote box today, clap hands, change meatball. Here we go. Change your attitude, and you change your altitude. This is from getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, man, because your body's saying, meatball, wake up. It's time to get up. But when it really is not. It's actually my first day off in like 2 weeks, man. But the body's so used to it, which is fine. But I had to get back to that sleep pattern, so I'm not going to rush myself back to sleep. It's a slow, gradual change, and that's how life is. But change your altitude, and you change your attitude. Sorry, change your attitude. See, I got on sleep deprived here. You change your altitude. And a great metaphor to live by, before I get to the words in that, is the old bald eagle, man. Use the bald eagle as life itself. And basically, he's got one adversary, and you guys probably heard this, the crow. He's a big pain in the ass. He's always bothering him. So what the eagle does, it soars up to thousands of feet, man, literally as high as jetliners, to get away from these pains in the asses. And that's got to be your attitude about life. You can't let yourself fall into the category of everybody else's negativity, because it's just going to affect your life in so many ways. So the eagle will fly up, and the crow can't go that high, man. His eyes will pop out of his head. At the same time, he just alleviated the problem. And that's basically what we have to do. It's our attitude about life. Because if we keep letting crows be a big pain in the ass in our life, it's going to affect us as a person. And how to break that down. I love how the government or whoever does it, they put us into classes, man. I got pictures today, people. I'm going to show you some pictures. They put us into classes to make us think that we're always going to be there. I'm going to get rid of my clipboard here and show you guys. We have an income bracket out there. You have the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. Now they put in a couple more categories of upper middle class and lower middle class. Just get to the point, meatball, is what I wanted to get on this. What I call that, they call it an income bracket. I call it a thinking bracket. And if you break down these classes, you'll realize how these people think. Because if you believe thoughts become things, you'll realize what you're bringing into your life. Let's start with the upper class. Here we go. It's very small, meatball. You got one little guy there. That's the 1% to 5% of people. Think about the upper class and how they think. Their thoughts, and this is from a scientific level. Basically, I can imagine 95% of their thoughts every day are in the quantum field of creativity, inspiration, all these abundant thoughts to bring the wealth and the great life that they have. Isn't that a great feeling? If you can get where the bald eagle is, this is where the bald eagle is, man. He just shuns off everything else in life and just thinks in a positive way. And an attitude of gratitude, and an attitude of abundance, and an attitude of being grateful about what they have and what they're achieving in life. The next is the majority of us, man. There's a lot of meatballs in there in that middle class, if you guys can see it. It's basically 2/3 of the population, middle class. And how do I define that? You got a middle class of people, 50-50. In other words, 50% in the quantum field on a positive level, and 50% in the quantum field on a negative level. They're basically in and out, and you guys can relate. Some days are up, some days are down. When you get into the category of the middle class, you start defining why your life keeps going up and down, man. Not on a monetary level, but actually it does on a thinking level, but on the thinking level and your attitude about life. It's got to be a constant flow. And this is what I've worked on and still do every day. My constant flow of what I'm sending out to the quantum field. So I'm not into the 50-50 class, not to set myself or segregate myself away from people. No, I'm just being an eagle and not allowing life to control what I'm letting in. And when you grasp hold of life like that, and you really understand, because I've been in the middle, and I'm going to go to the lower class. And honestly, it's lower class. Lower class. Lower class is probably 90% negative thinking. And I'm not saying this on a detrimental level to anybody, to offend anybody. This is just a hard reality of what you're bringing into your life. This is you as a whole, sending out to the quantum field either 90% good, 50% good, or 10% good. And this is what you're bringing into your life. And this is just a reality check for you guys to understand. If your life is constantly in the upper level, all you can create is good things. The majority of your life, you're going to, 90% of the time, you're going to bring to you the most amazing situations, opportunities, abundant circumstances. You get in the 50-50 realm, which is what the majority of us are, the 2/3 of us are. You're going to bring in your life a bunch of waves. Some are tidal waves, some are little waves, man. But when you get to that point of even flow, of how you are as a person, and you get to the altitude that you've always wanted to get to in thought, life can only bring you the upper class thinking and life to fit around that. Not necessarily on a monetary level, but on a mindset. And from that creative mindset, you can create the most beautiful scenarios and situations in your life. But a lot of people, the third in the lower class, and not in the financial level, mind you, it's a thinking, how should we say, scenario that happens every single day. You might have, that 10% in the morning when you wake up. Yeah, I'm happy, I'm doing this, I'm that. But 90% of the day, you're being negative. And all you're doing is sending that out every single day. This is a mental construct of who you are as a person and where it's going to lead you in your life. The 10% on the bottom can only bring them negative situations. That's why they call it poverty. Not necessarily on a financial level, but on a physical level, a health level, and where you are as a person and what you surround yourself with. You get into the middle class, you're going to have the ups and downs. And this is what I don't like about life. I want an even flow. I want the upper class thinking, because I know from there I'm going to attract the right people, the right situations, the right circumstances, the right abundance, everything I've always desired when I stay in that 90% plus thinking every day. And if you can get up, you can get your thinking up to the upper echelon, you'll realize the income bracket was just a thinking bracket. Upper class people, so-called the upper crust people, think about what they're thinking about all day long. They're not thinking about what Jane said about them, man. They're thinking about what they can create. The middle class people, they have up and down days. 4 out of the 7 days a week, they're in a good mood. And you wonder why life is going up and down like a yo-yo. The lower class, they got it mastered. They got it mastered of negative thinking, negative thought, negative outcome, negative life, negative living. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy that we all have. When you break down the income bracket to a thinking bracket, a lot of people relate everything to money, which is fine, I get it. But when you start relating your money to the middle class, people realize, they have the ups and the downs in their life. They have the financial ups, then they have the financial downs in life. They bring about all these different scenarios to bring them up and to bring them down. Financially, the upper class, they're constantly flowing. They're constantly creating. They're constantly have this abundant feeling of life and the lifestyle that they want to create. The lower class, they know what they're going to get. That's the entitlement class. That's the people who think everything comes to them and blames life for everything. When you can pick your poison in this. I'll pick the upper class any day. Not necessarily for the monetary factor, but that's nice. But the peaceful factor, the peaceful thinking, the peaceful abundance, the peaceful joy, all the attributes of good health. Does that make sense? It's a great choice, man. It's a great choice. Attitude is a noun, a position assumed for a specific purpose. Attitude is awesome. Because you pick your poison how you want to approach the world every day. If you want to approach the world from your past, always tense, always pugnacious with everybody, negative comments, just be ready for life to show you all that. Not necessarily in people, but your situations, your circumstances, your events. They're going to match those feelings that you're sending out every single day. Or you can pick the position of forgiveness, love, abundance, joy, goals, who you are as a person, your whole as a person. I wrote this before I came on when I was journaling this morning. Yeah, I was journaling. Yeah, I'm journaling a lot, man, because I want to get back in the mode of the early morning. And I took out my little sticky note. As you see, there's basically thousands of quotes on there. And I wrote these, and hopefully you guys, you'll understand that the power of these words. And if you reiterate them constantly, you're going to bring about your true life constantly. I wrote, I am that I be, and be that I am. And when you get to that point in life, if you're sick and tired of just going up and down in this yo-yo frame of mentality that's only bringing you these waves and tidal waves of happiness and sorrow and sickness and good health. Guys, when you get on that wave of constant thought of what you want to bring in life, you go to this next word in the quote box, which is altitude, a high level of quality and or feeling. That's probably the most important word out of all this. Your altitude of thinking will determine your destiny. How high you think is how high you go. How low you think is how low you'll be. Remember that, guys. So I got a day off today finally, but it's full of appointments that I got to make up for the past 2 weeks, man. So guys, enjoy your day. America's Mentor _radio on Instagram. Thank you for the Jackson views, man. America's Mentor on Twitter, at America's Mentor on YouTube. Change your attitude. And you change your altitude. When you bring your thinking to that 1% level, you can only manifest from that 1% level. From a mental state going into the quantum field, your thoughts, your feelings, what you attract in your life. It's a great way of thinking. Get your thinking down. Wait and get this thing here, man. To the thinking class. Put yourself in the thinking class. Are you in the upper thinking class, the middle class of thinking, or the poverty sense of thinking? You'll realize where your life is going, guys. So hopefully this helped. Enjoy your friggin' day, man. I got to head off. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Have a great day.